Okay, let's see what's going on. Make sure this is on. All right. Hi, Taurus. Welcome in. Welcome in. All right, let's see what's going on for you guys. We're going to go, we're going to read the energies, I want to say the last week of April. So it's already the 22nd. Let's go from the 25th to the 30th. So we'll just, there goes Posy B. And his little hat that my daughter made for him because she feels bad since he lost a bead and he lives with one bead now. Let's put his hat back on. So now she makes outfits for him because she feels guilty. All right, the situation for my Taurus, please. So the story goes, the bee, my daughter threw him across the room and he lost a bead. And she begged me to replace the bead because she felt bad. I said, no matter what you lose in life, you still keep going. You stay positive. So since then, it's become the moral of the story of anything that we do. So every morning she comes and gives Posy B a kiss. And now she makes some little hats and whatnot. So if you're wondering why that's there, that's why it's there. Back to you. 3 of Pentacles and the 5 of Wands in reverse. And Justice at the bottom of the deck. Some of you are collaborating with a team at work, and whatever issues, blocks, and obstacles you had, it's now moving out of the way. Those of you who are dealing with something legal, those blocks, obstacles, and issues are melting away, and you're finding a way to work out something here with someone. Now let's switch gears and go into love. Those of you who are dealing with third-party situation, you no longer have those issues between you and the other person that you're trying to get with. Some of you could be dealing with a separation and or a divorce. Others of you are trying, some of you are getting out of one and getting into another marriage or commitment with someone else. Now, let's continue. But the point is, you're getting these blocks and obstacles that you have here with somebody that you're trying to work things out with are removing themselves. So that's the key aspect there. And we'll see more when we clarify. What's coming in for my Taurus, please? This last week of May, please. This last week of May. Ace of Cups and the 10 of Swords in cross. Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Anyway, 2 aces. One being fresh new start in love. However, what's in the cross position is the 10 of Swords. Something that seems to have ended with quite sharply. It was a betrayal for somebody. Okay, it was an ending for someone. But this is what's struggling to happen here, even though you have new love coming in for you. And not only is it new love, but it's also based on truth and honesty and putting all your cards on the table so it feels real. It feels genuine. It feels really friggin' happy with the sun here. Oh my God, Taurus, this is your time. How many more amazing cards will I see down here? It's a fresh new start in everything. A lot of you, it literally is everything. It's a job, it's friendship, it's location where you're moving, it's relationship. It's all new. It's all wonderful. You're like, no, it's not. No, it's not. Why can't it be? Why do you assume that the other shoe's going to drop? Aces are what you make of them. So the universe is offering you these new beginnings. So like, will you loop around and just stay stuck to what you used to have and be? Because if you haven't noticed, the world is evolving and we have to evolve and move with it. All right, what is the surprise of the week for my Taurus gang, please? The Taurus gang, please. 5 of Cups, which is guilt and regret. It's the woulda, coulda, shoulda, but you know me. I'm going to tell you that which is meant for you will not pass you by. There is a King of Swords here. So basically what I'm vibing here, Taurus, and what I'm feeling, I mean, I'm literally seeing you walking away with your back to like everything. You're walking away from something that no longer emotionally serves you, Taurus, all right? Some of you, it can be an air sign. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. It really doesn't have to be an air sign. This is just somebody in their head. This is somebody very rational, analytical. They're fair. They're honest. They're available to you. But I feel like there's something that's not emotionally serving and you feel bad that you're leaving. Shall I say it is what it is? I mean, I get it. You don't want to be overwhelmed and burdened because you have multiple people on your plate. It's not like an energy you want to have to deal with. All right, let's continue. What is the surprise of the week here? The Queen of Swords and the Four of Swords at the bottom of the deck. All right. Taurus. There's something here where you have to rationalize. It's got nothing to do with what is stable or love or this or that. In this case, in this week, the last week of May, Spirit is literally asking you, think about this. Think about it clearly. And whatever you do, you make sure it's fair, balanced, and honest for all parties involved. Moreover, it is sitting there saying, like, really think, Taurus, what do you want in your life? And what you don't want, it's time to slice and dice. Here, we're handing you a sword. You take this sword, right? You look at it. Swords are meant to communicate or to use to cut off the dead ends of things. So, you can heal. Four of Swords. All right, we'll see more when we clarify that, but let's see what the outcome of the week is telling us here for Taurus gang. Let me tell you something. Last week was also a very rough week with what was going up in the sky. We still have some remnants of Neptune fighting with Venus. Venus is your planet. Neptune is the planet of dreaminess, and they were like going at war. So everybody last week was getting a little crazy. They were paranoid. They were thinking things that weren't actually true or happening, and it affected their relationships. I think you kept it steady as it goes, because here I'm looking at your last week of May, and it looks all right. For me, it looks like things are clear for you. Very clear. But the Ace of Swords came out in the cross. 1 minute, it's like you're about to begin this new beginning here with somebody where your relationship's based on truth and honesty, and you're putting it out there. But the next minute, it's like you're retracting some information. Now, if that's not you, it could be them. Okay? I think you're holding back some information to somebody only because I think you're still weighing your pros and cons in regards to a situation, Taurus. That is the only reason. All right, we'll see more now when I clarify, see what's going on. For Taurus, what is the Five of Wands in reverse and the Three of Pentacles? The Devil. And the Star card. All right. Two opposing energies. Look at this. One very dark, one very light. Sorry, when I'm quiet, I'm getting downloads and feedback. I'm not distracted, as somebody commented once before under the thread, because I read everybody's comments. I will hit like whether I agree or I disagree. The only reason I hit like on everyone's comments is because I want you to know that I read everything you guys say, and to know that, you know, I try to engage with everybody, but you're very much part of, you know, our community. So I want to keep building that with you guys. So that is why I'm saying sometimes what I do say. I don't really mind the trolling. I get over that quite quick. But just in case anybody's skeptic. So with that said, the Devil and the Star card here is telling me that there's a toxic loop here. You're either dealing with somebody toxic or the situation is toxic. But, you know, in my mind, I keep seeing like round and round, almost like an infinity symbol. And I see a black background and it's gold and it's going round, but it's speeding up real fast. I think it's trying to burn itself out. What am I talking about? I really truly believe that whatever toxic cycle you keep finding yourself to be in, it's wearing itself thin. It's wearing itself out. I think you're starting to realize it. I think you're starting to get tired of it, Taurus, and it's going to burn itself out. Now, this talks about obsession. with a love partner. Somebody here, you know, obviously is obsessed with you. You could be obsessed with somebody and you're trying to stay optimistic and hopeful. But others of you, a huge group of you, is what I'm feeling is like, I keep seeing also hot water, that, you know, you're with somebody here where it's just nothing but always a hot mess. And you're trying to remain optimistic and hopeful, especially now since the blocks and obstacles are out of the way. Whatever that toxic thing is that you were dealing with is slowly removing itself. That's why I keep seeing this going faster and faster until it fizzles out. And that's why I see the steaming water. But this is also why you also have the Star card, trying to stay optimistic and hopeful as you collaborate here with this person. You're just torn. And this might be your toxic vice, Taurus, not knowing which path to take, which direction. It's coming to an end real rapidly. Sorry, struggling to talk today. All right, Ace of Cups and Ten of Swords in cross, please, for my Taurus gang. Okay, really funny. I was just thinking in my head how, like, oh my God, this whole week has been so crazy and loopy and confusing. And then literally the same exact card just popped out, the confusing card. Not knowing who or where to invest in because you're confused. You had an ending and a betrayal, but you also have new love. Should you engage? Should you not? Should you go back and fix this? I don't know. Because you have a passionate new beginning on the table with love. I think you'll check things out. I think you might even go out with this person and talk to them. Then you're going to weigh your pros and cons. I'd like to think these events as triggering events, so you could see what was missing your whole life, or how it can be, Taurus. All right, what's the Five of Cups and the King of Swords? I'll throw you out. You got that Six of Wands just flew out by itself. This is about vindication and validation. So somebody comes back, this person in particular, to vindicate you and validate you, perhaps giving you a solid new start. Anything else? But you feel some kind of guilt and regret. I think no matter what the hell they do, I think you're like done. I mean, it makes you feel good, but all it does, and this also could be one of those toxic things, what the devil does, it's just like once you just made up your mind, once you've decided to move forward, man, something else happens and it kind of like drags you back. There's definitely somebody here from your past that's going to come vindicate and validate you. And then it gives you pause. You start to think like, okay, should I really invest somewhere else with someone else? Because you do have new love that's coming in and you're considering it heavily. In fact, I would dare as to say you're leaning in that direction. That's why your advice is telling you think things through. Use that sword we gave you. What is the Queen of Swords in the advice position? Please clarify her. Her being you, male, female, whatever your pronoun is, that is you. The Emperor. It is time to take charge. It is time to boss up and lead said situation. That Ace of Pentacles went nowhere. So far, I've literally seen all the aces, whether they were flashing at me through the deck as I was shuffling, the back of the deck, or they're on the table already. Spirit's trying to force these new opportunities onto you. And for two reasons. To see if you bite, because they want you to go in a different path direction and see what you do with those opportunities. And two, to see if you're going to revert back and not evolve and not change and stay stuck. All right? Because if you do that, when it comes choosing time and not making a choice is a choice, Taurus, you know this, you're bound to repeat a cycle. All right, so they have to boss up, take the lead. Some of you could be dealing with an Aries. You really need to weigh your pros and cons. This is like the time has come. And maybe take it step by step. It's not about having like a zero-sum game here where, okay, if I get rid of this, I get this. Sometimes it's about getting rid of both to start brand new. All right, so what is the Ace of Swords. Or for others of you, it is making that choice and moving on. Yeah, I see you're dealing with some heartache, right? And you're trying to heal it and fix it and move it on. I feel like you feel like you're getting neglected by someone. And this is why it's hurting you to kind of cut someone out or cut this thing off. But here you are, having already decided. By the end of the week, by the end of the month, by the 31st, you'll have decided in your mind what you can and cannot live with. You will. And then you will realize at some point that you have wish fulfillment and desire here with somebody. You're very much in love with someone. You'll find that balance. It's coming. June's going to be hella interesting. Very interesting. I think somebody from your past won't let you go. But these are the moves you're making last week of May. You finally coming to a determination. I see 5 of Swords in reverse. All right, what am I going to talk about for love in the extended for my beautiful Taurus gang? Yeah, a lot of you are meeting somebody brand new. Future prediction, some of you just met them, romantic feelings, and we will talk about this in the extended. Who, what, where, when. Yes, that's what we'll do in the extended for romantic feelings. Taurus, please. Thank you. What'd you guys get? Honesty. That would be this in your advice position and this in your outcome. Being honest with yourself, not just other people. Telling the truth to you. My darling, you have chosen the symbol of clarity and true communication, which is this in your outcome, which is what I think you're doing, but do it fairly in your advice. Now's the time to be absolutely honest with yourself about what you want, what you're thinking about, and what your motives and your real feelings are. Honesty is the way to truly step into your power. When you choose honesty above all else as your goddess, I will send you the courage to do the right thing. This is also a time to demand honesty and integrity from others. You have a right to get clear messages. This is the greatest freedom and power in telling the truth. I think you're doing that. But I also agree you should demand honesty from others as well. What you think and feel it will be like. All right, let's head on over there to your extended and see what's going on. Everyone else, I'll see you next week.